Think about the people who have shaped your life the most, the ones you can't forget no matter how much time has passed. Maybe it was a mentor who said something at just the right moment that shifted your entire perspective. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you when the world seemed to turn its back. Or maybe it was someone who broke you, shattered you, and forced you to rebuild yourself stronger than ever. Now, ask yourself, why do you still remember them? It's not because of the exact words they said. It's not because of what they did, at least not in a checklist kind of way. It's because of how they made you feel. This is the secret that most people miss. Human beings don't store memories like a filing cabinet of facts. We are emotional creatures, and we remember through feeling. We are wired to attach significance to emotions, and those emotions create a deep imprint in our subconscious. That's why one conversation, one moment, one experience can stay with someone for a lifetime. If you want to be unforgettable, you have to understand that it's not about impressing people, it's about impacting them. And impact comes from emotion. Think about a time when someone made you feel truly seen. Maybe it was the way they looked at you when you were speaking, fully present, eyes locked in, as if your words actually mattered. Maybe it was the way they spoke life into you when you were doubting yourself, not with shallow motivation, but with a conviction so strong that you started believing in yourself too. Maybe it was the way they stood up for you when you couldn't stand up for yourself. These moments stick because they cut through the noise. We live in a world where people are starving for real connection. Everyone is busy, distracted, moving through life on autopilot. But when someone steps into your life and makes you feel something powerful, whether it's love, inspiration, safety, or even a jolt of discomfort that forces you to grow, you don't forget them. This is why surface-level interactions never leave a lasting mark. If you're just talking to someone, exchanging pleasantries, or keeping conversations safe and predictable, you're blending in. You're just another face in the crowd. But if you can create an emotional experience, you become impossible to forget. So how do you do this? First, you must be fully present. Most people are not. They're stuck in their own heads, thinking about what to say next, checking their phone, or lost in their own world. When you are fully present with someone, they feel it. They feel valued. They feel important. And that feeling stays with them long after the conversation ends. Second, you must be willing to go deeper. Ask the questions that no one else asks. Listen to what's not being said. Pay attention to their energy, their body language, their hesitations. Don't just respond. Feel what they are saying. When someone feels deeply understood, they remember the person who made them feel that way. Third, you must give them an experience. Words are forgettable, emotions are not. If you can make someone laugh from their gut, they will remember you. If you can make someone feel safe enough to open up in a way they never have before, they will remember you. This is why some people can walk into a room and shift the entire energy. It's not because they're loud or charismatic. It's because they bring something. They carry an energy, an intensity, a presence that makes people feel something. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be over the top, intense, or dramatic. It's not about trying to be anything. It's about being real, being intentional, and showing up in a way that touches people on a level they weren't expecting. You also have to be aware of the kind of emotional imprint you're leaving. Some people are unforgettable for the wrong reasons. They create pain, they spread negativity, they leave people feeling drained or unworthy. That's an imprint too. But the ones who leave a mark in a way that elevates, empowers, and inspires, those are the ones who are truly unforgettable. The best part, you don't have to be famous, wealthy, or powerful to do this. You don't need a certain status or title. You just need to care enough to show up differently. You need to care enough to bring real energy into your interactions, to look people in the eyes, to actually see them, to say what needs to be said, and to touch their heart in a way that no one else has. This is what makes you impossible to forget. Most people go through life giving only what is required. They do their job, fulfill their obligations, and check the boxes of social expectations. They respond when spoken to, help when asked, and support when convenient. But the ones who are unforgettable, the ones who leave a lasting impression, they don't just meet expectations, they shatter them. The world operates on an unspoken rule of reciprocity. You give something and you get something in return. You hold the door open and someone says thank you. You do your job and you get a paycheck. You ask a question and you receive an answer. It's an even exchange. Nothing wrong with that. But when you want to be unforgettable, you must play by a different set of rules. You must operate on unexpected value. Unexpected value is when you give more than someone anticipates, not because you have to, but because you choose to. It's when you do something that wasn't required, when you go the extra mile, when you exceed expectations, so profoundly that it shakes someone awake. And that moment, when someone realizes you've given them something they never expected, that's when they remember you forever. Think about a time when someone did something for you that went beyond what you expected. Maybe it was a small thing, like a stranger who paid for your coffee when you were having a terrible day. Maybe it was a boss who saw your potential and invested in you in ways they didn't have to. Maybe it was a friend who showed up at your door unannounced just because they felt like you needed them. Now ask yourself, why do you remember that moment so vividly? Because it wasn't normal. It wasn't something you predicted. It wasn't something that fit into the routine rhythm of life. And that's the secret. People remember the moments that break patterns. Most interactions are predictable. Someone says hello, you say hello back. Someone asks how you're doing, you say good even if you're not. But when something unexpected happens, when someone offers more than you ever thought they would, it interrupts the usual flow of life. And that interruption makes an imprint. If you want to be unforgettable, you must become a master at giving more than what's expected. This doesn't mean exhausting yourself or being taken advantage of. It means strategic generosity. It means surprising people with your willingness to serve, support, and elevate them in ways they never saw coming. So how do you do this? First, you must anticipate needs before they are spoken. Most people wait to be asked. They wait for the cue that tells them to step in. But the ones who are truly unforgettable, they don't wait. They notice, they observe. They see what's missing before anyone has to say it. Think about a time when you were struggling but didn't ask for help. Maybe you were overwhelmed with work, but you didn't tell anyone. Maybe you were feeling lost, but you didn't want to burden anyone with it. Now, imagine if someone had stepped in without you having to say a word. Imagine if they just knew and acted on it. That's the kind of moment that sticks with people forever. Second, you must give in ways that others don't. Everyone gives the obvious things. They give advice when asked. They give support when it's convenient. They give time when they have extra. But the people who create real impact, they give in ways that go beyond the norm. They give attention in a world that's distracted. They give encouragement in a world that's quick to criticize. They give belief in a world that's filled with doubt. It could be something as simple as remembering details most people forget. Maybe someone mentions in passing that they have a big meeting coming up next week, and instead of just nodding, you actually check in and ask how it went. Maybe you notice someone's been quieter than usual, and instead of assuming they're fine, you pull them aside and ask what's really going on. These small moments create massive impact. Third, you must give without expectation. Most people only give when there's something in it for them, whether it's recognition, reciprocation, or just feeling good about themselves. But the ones who truly stand out, they give because it's who they are. They give because it's in their nature, not because they're keeping score. And here's the paradox. When you give, without expecting anything in return, you actually receive more than you ever imagined. Because people feel it when your giving is genuine. They know when it's coming from a place of authenticity, and that's what makes them remember you. Fourth, you must create emotional moments through your generosity. It's not just about what you give, it's about how it makes people feel. When you give someone something that shifts their emotional state, whether it's relief, joy, gratitude, or inspiration, you've just created a memory that won't fade. Maybe it's sending a heartfelt message to someone who's been struggling, telling them exactly why they matter. Maybe it's offering help before someone even realizes they need it. Maybe it's simply being there, fully, in a moment when someone feels alone. These are the things that stay with people. Most people are waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for someone to go the extra mile for them. Be the person who doesn't wait. Be the person who acts. Be the person who creates value, not because they have to, but because they choose to. In a world where people are constantly trying to impress, stand out, or fit in, authenticity has become one of the rarest and most powerful qualities a person can have. Most people are wearing a mask. They present a version of themselves that they think others want to see, carefully curated, filtered, and adjusted to be acceptable. But deep down, they are exhausted. Exhausted from pretending, exhausted from trying to meet expectations, exhausted from playing a role that isn't truly them. And yet, the moment they encounter someone who is real, someone who is raw, unapologetic, and completely themselves, it's like a breath of fresh air. They feel drawn to that person. They trust them instantly. They remember them. Authenticity is magnetic because it is so rare. People don't want perfect, they want real. They don't remember the person who tried to please everyone. They remember the one who had the courage to be themselves, fully and completely. The question is, are you that person? Most people hesitate to be fully authentic because they are afraid. Afraid of judgment, afraid of rejection, afraid that if they reveal their true selves, they won't be accepted. But here's the truth. The people who truly matter will only accept you when you are real. The ones who judge, reject, or criticize, they were never meant for you in the first place. The world is full of noise. People trying to be something they're not, trying to craft an image instead of a real identity. But the ones who leave a lasting impact, they are the ones who refuse to play that game. They are the ones who stand in their truth, speak from their soul, and never dilute themselves to be more digestible for others. So how do you step into true authenticity? First, you must know yourself at a deep level. Most people don't. They've spent so much time trying to be what others expect that they've lost sight of who they truly are. They shape their opinions based on what's popular. They follow trends instead of trusting their instincts. They suppress parts of themselves that they think won't be accepted. But if you want to be truly unforgettable, you must strip all of that away. You must be willing to ask yourself the hard questions. Who am I really? What do I believe in? What do I stand for, even if it makes me unpopular? Because the moment you start living according to your truth instead of external expectations, you become a force that people can't ignore. Second, you must speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Most people sugarcoat. They avoid saying what they really think because they don't want to upset anyone. They hold back their opinions because they're afraid of conflict. But the ones who make an impact, they have the courage to say what others won't. They don't just agree to fit in. They don't water down their beliefs to be liked. This doesn't mean being harsh or reckless with your words. It means speaking from a place of deep truth with conviction and clarity. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect you, and more importantly, they will remember you. Because honesty, real honesty, is something people rarely experience in a world full of surface-level conversations. Third, you must stop seeking validation. The need for approval is the biggest killer of authenticity. When you are constantly trying to be liked, you start bending and adjusting yourself to fit other people's expectations. You say what you think they want to hear. You behave in ways that keep you in their good graces, but in doing so, you lose yourself. The truth is, no matter what you do, some people won't like you. No matter how hard you try, some people will misunderstand you, and that's okay. The moment you stop seeking validation and start living in alignment with your truth, you become unstoppable. You attract the right people, the ones who love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. Fourth, you must own your flaws and imperfections. Most people try to hide their weaknesses. They think that being unforgettable means being flawless, being perfect, never making mistakes. But perfection is forgettable. It's the cracks, the struggles, the raw, unpolished truth that makes you real. And being real is what makes you memorable. Think about the people who have inspired you the most. Were they perfect or were they real? Were they willing to share their failures, their struggles, their pain? Did they show you their scars instead of hiding them? That's what makes someone truly impactful, because when you own your imperfections instead of trying to mask them, you give others permission to do the same. Fifth, you must act in alignment with your words. Being authentic isn't just about what you say. It's about how you live. It's about whether your actions reflect your values. It's about whether people can trust that you are exactly who you say you are. So many people claim to be real, but their actions betray them. They say they value honesty, but they lie to make things easier. They say they believe in kindness, but they are cruel when no one is watching. If you want to be truly unforgettable, you must have integrity so strong that people never have to question who you are. They know that what you say and what you do are always in perfect alignment. Finally, you must embrace the fact that not everyone will understand you. When you are truly authentic, some people won't get it. Some people will criticize you. Some people will try to fit you into a box that makes them comfortable. But the ones who do get it, they will never forget you. Because authenticity is not just about you, it's about the impact you have on others. When you are real, you give people the permission to be real too. When you live in your truth, you inspire others to step into theirs. And when you show up fully as yourself without apology, you create a ripple effect that touches more lives than you will ever know. If you truly want to be unforgettable, you must understand one fundamental truth. People don't remember words, they remember feelings. They remember how you made them feel in a moment when they least expected it. They remember the energy you brought into their life, whether it was uplifting, inspiring, comforting, or even challenging in a way that forced them to grow. Most interactions in life are transactional. People talk, they exchange pleasantries, they discuss the weather, they follow social scripts. These interactions might be polite, even enjoyable, but they are not memorable. They fade into the background, blending into the sea of ordinary conversation. But then there are those rare people who stand out, the ones who shake you awake, who make you feel alive, who leave an imprint on your soul. These are the people who know how to create deep emotional experiences, and if you want to be unforgettable, you must become one of them. So how do you do this? First, you must tap into the emotions that matter most. People are moved by emotions that touch their core. Love, joy, excitement, inspiration, even pain and vulnerability. If you want to create an experience someone will never forget, you must connect with them on one of these emotional levels. Think about the moments in your life that you still carry with you. Maybe it was a time someone made you feel truly seen when you were at your lowest. Maybe it was a moment of intense laughter that lifted your spirit when you needed it most. Maybe it was a challenge that forced you to rise to your potential. The reason those moments stayed with you is because they hit you on a deep emotional level. Now imagine if you could be the person who creates those kinds of moments for others. Imagine if just by being in someone's life, you could give them an experience that they carry with them forever. Second, you must be fully present in every interaction. Most people are not present. They are distracted, thinking about their to-do lists, their phones, what they're going to say next. And because they are not fully present, their interactions lack depth. They don't create a strong emotional connection. But when you are truly present with someone, when you listen with your whole heart, when you look into their eyes and actually see them, when you respond in a way that makes them feel heard, they feel it. They feel valued. They feel important. Presence is rare, and because it's rare, it's memorable. When you give someone your full attention in a world where most people are half listening, they remember you. Third, you must create moments of surprise and intensity. The brain is wired to remember things that break patterns. When something unexpected happens, something that jolts us out of our routine, it creates a memory that sticks. This is why people remember grand romantic gestures, spontaneous adventures, and life-changing conversations that come out of nowhere. These moments shake us out of our normal state and create emotional spikes, and emotional spikes become memories. If you want to be unforgettable, you must be willing to create these moments. It could be as simple as sending an unexpected message to someone, telling them exactly what they mean to you. It could be showing up for a friend in a way they never saw coming. It could be making someone laugh so hard they cry. It could be pushing someone to believe in themselves when they are ready to give up. The point is, you don't just exist in someone's life, you create moments that leave an impact. Fourth, you must understand and speak to people's deepest desires. Everyone has something they crave deep down, whether it's love, recognition, security, adventure, growth, or a sense of belonging. When you understand what someone truly wants at their core, and you speak to that part of them, you connect with them in a way that no one else does. Most people stay on the surface. They talk about things that don't really matter. They never dig deep enough to understand what someone really needs. But the ones who leave an imprint, they go deeper. They see beyond the surface. They understand what drives a person, what moves them, what keeps them up at night. When you can recognize someone's deepest desires, even the ones they don't always express out loud, and you make them feel understood, you create an emotional bond that lasts. Fifth, you must embrace vulnerability and raw emotion. The deepest emotional experiences come from moments of realness. When someone opens up to you, when they let their guard down, when they share something they don't normally share, that is when true connection happens. Most people are afraid of vulnerability. They keep conversations light. They avoid uncomfortable topics. They put on a front. But the people who create unforgettable experiences, they aren't afraid to go deep. They aren't afraid to ask the real questions, to have the raw conversations, to be genuine in a way that others aren't. When you give someone a safe space to be real, to share their struggles, their fears, their dreams, you give them something rare. And because it's rare, it's unforgettable. Sixth, you must make people feel something powerful. At the end of the day, people remember feelings, not facts. They don't remember exactly what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. They don't remember every detail of an experience, but they remember the emotion tied to it. If you can make someone feel deeply, whether it's inspired, moved, challenged, or seen, you have created a memory that will last forever. So, don't just go through the motions. Don't just have small talk. Don't just show up in a way that blends in with everyone else. Be the person who makes people feel. Be the person who creates moments of intensity, moments of depth, moments of truth. Because the ones who make us feel something, whether it's joy, excitement, love, or even the fire to become better, those are the ones we never forget.